Xbox's future. Now, I know I've gone on about this quite a lot, the future of Xbox, and as we can see not long ago, I think it was in February, there was rumours about, exclusives coming out to PlayStation, like, Sea of Thieves and stuff, and all of them were right. Every single game was right from the rumour. They were pretty realistic rumours. I mean, they came from a pretty trusted source. So I wasn't too hesitant, and I wasn't like, yeah, these are fake. Although the way they spread, people started clickbaiting and stuff like that, and that's when people were like, okay, you're taking it a little bit too far. I get it. People clickbait. They want to try and get clicks on their sites and stuff like that. That's fairly understandable, but I do think sometimes it's a bit too far. You're going a bit too far. We get what you're doing. Just stop, please. Either way, they all turned out to be true. Phil Spencer shit himself and said, oh no, and then announced that he would, a week later, would do a podcast, or a little, short form podcast, to announce that, yeah, pretty much everything in the rumour was pretty much true. And then he tried to reassure Xbox players by saying, oh no, we're not going to leave we're not going to leave Xbox. If you own an Xbox, you're completely safe. You're safe with us. You're not going to have any problems and stuff like that. We're not going to abandon the Xbox platform, to try and build a bit of a reassurance with the Xbox, people, because obviously they announced their Game Pass subscribers. I think it's like 30-something million, which is pretty good. That they're doing pretty well when it comes to Game Pass. I think Game Pass, most of them are Game Pass Ultimate, I believe, which is again pretty good. I think that's about $200 a year, which when you come to think of that, that's actually quite a lot. I think that's more than PlayStation's. Although you do get with Game Pass Ultimate, a lot of people get this wrong. You actually do get the PC version of Game Pass as well. So you're kind of paying for something if you just use Game Pass for console anywhere that you don't really use if you don't have a PC. Anyway, that's beside the point. So the future of Xbox lies in the hands of, PlayStation, probably. Holy shit. Obviously, it's rumoured and stuff like that, and people are getting all hyped up and things like that. As we all know, Starfield have just had a pretty big update. They've decided to update a lot of the stuff, and they've added, I think, a 60 FPS patch now. Yep, some reason they've decided to, go, you know what, we probably could have added a 60 FPS patch. Well, up to 60 FPS, I'm guessing. So don't expect crystal clear 60 FPS. Either way, are they doing that to get prepared for the PS5 launch? Are we going to see this? I mean, to be quite honest, I don't think the game should be exclusive, in my opinion. I think games like Forza, games like Gears of War, games like Halo, yeah, they should be exclusive to Xbox. But I think games like Fallout and Bethesda games, in my opinion, I don't really think they should be exclusive. I think it's a bit of an over-top thing. I think Xbox really could benefit by just putting Starfield on, then again, Halo really isn't actually exclusive. Neither is Forza. Neither is Gears. You can get that shit on PC, so probably should stop using them. Well, I use it as, I'm saying exclusive in the sense of it's not on PlayStation, because technically God of War 2018 isn't exclusive anymore, even though the PC version came a few years after. So, what is the future of Xbox, and, where does it lie? So, Twitter's obviously really crazy about Xbox like it does. I mean, a lot of these accounts out there. I'm going to be honest. I think Sony must pay a lot of these accounts as well, because all of them seem to be PlayStation fan accounts, which I can't really say it doesn't really surprise me at all that they're PlayStation fan accounts, because holy shit, it's not really hard to just do a quick scroll down a lot of these accounts and you just find thousands and thousands and thousands of tweets of them shitting on Xbox. Xbox is trash. Xbox is trash. PlayStation is better. We get it. We get it. You don't like Xbox. You don't have to tweet 15,000 times to tell everyone that you do not like Xbox and you prefer PlayStation. It's almost like if you have a different opinion to them and you like Xbox, you're a loser and this and this. Oh, you have 0 games. I don't get this whole you have 0 games. Just say you have 0 exclusives. Although we do have exclusives, Xbox does. Although I wouldn't say Microsoft or Xbox really give a shit about exclusives, clearly. Because, well, let's be honest, PlayStation are pushing them. Microsoft haven't had, I don't even think they've had a nomination in a game award for a long, long time. Obviously, people blame it on Xbox tax and stuff like that. I think it's purely because Microsoft just doesn't really care about exclusives, apparently. They kind of sit back and they leave it. They have the opportunity, they have the money, they have the money to try and, invest in a new IP or something like that. Get the ball rolling. I know in development, there's apparently a new Fallout that's going to be in development. There's Elder Scrolls 6 that's currently in development now. I presume that's not going to be exclusive to Xbox. I think that's going to be on PlayStation as well. Probably the best option. But obviously, as we all know, now I don't know how accurate these hardware figures are, but obviously Twitter likes to go on their little rampage and, well, put out their tweets of how well PlayStation is absolutely shattering Xbox every month. So, apparently, they're a bit outdated. It's very hard to see how well consoles are selling because the data always ends up being a few months old. So, you kind of have to just, use an estimate. Maybe they're selling a bit better that month. Obviously, each month is going to be very infrequent with each other. One month, the PlayStation may sell very well. The other month, it may sell like shit. It's just how it is, I guess. In the US and Canada, the PlayStation 5 sold nearly 600,000 consoles. Holy shit, that's quite a lot in a month. In Europe, it sold 370,000 consoles that month. In Japan, it sold 139,000 consoles. That is crazy. So in that month, the PlayStation probably sold just about 1 million consoles, just shy of 1 million consoles. That is crazy to think about. That is crazy to think about. Wow. Obviously, Nintendo being in second place, sorry. In the US and Canada, they sold 252,000 units of the Switch. And in Europe, they sold 186,000. And in Japan, because, wow, this thing is really popular in Japan. It's been known for a while. The Switch is the Switch is a hit to begin with. It's apparently going to be beating the PS2, which is pretty crazy. I think the PS2 is the best-selling console. I think it has like 150-something million sales, which is, again, top-selling console ever. Xbox in third place. Holy shit. So in the US and Canada, it sold 219,000. And I imagine most of them sales were probably Series S's and not Series X's, because for some reason I don't think the Series X actually sells that well. I see the Series S on deals more than the Series X. it sold 84,000 in Japan. Well, I'm not really surprised because, well, I don't think Xbox has really ever done well in Japan to begin with. I know with the original Xbox, they had a lot of trouble, trying to get developers and stuff like that. They have 10,000 sold in Japan. Obviously, the PS4, it's still, for some reason, selling well. I think it had 1,000 in pretty much, and it's still quite selling decent in Japan. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's not really surprising, to be quite honest with you. It's been known for a while. Xbox's sales are really dwindling down and down and down. It seems like I don't really know what the problem is to why the sales aren't doing as well. Now, I presume a lot of people who are buying the PlayStation already have a PlayStation console to begin with, and they're just, buying the console they have. It's like what most people do. Which would you rather do? If you want an iPhone, are you going to buy the next iPhone, or are you going to buy a Samsung? You're probably going to buy the next iPhone. Why? Because you already have an iPhone. So what's the point of buying an entire brand new device that is completely different and has different logins and stuff like that when you could just use an iPhone? So a lot of people, and most of the apps, it has the apps you use quite frequently. And same with Xbox. Same with PlayStation, sorry. Most people probably have their games on PlayStation. So why would they go out and buy an Xbox when they, have this? So I'm presuming a lot of these sales are probably just going to be people, because again, the PlayStation is more accessible than anything else now. It's a lot more accessible than it was, a year ago at least. It took 2 years just for it to actually be more, apparent and become more available, because that thing was scalped to a motherfucker, and tried to recover from itself. Now, just again, doesn't come as a surprise to me. Xbox really hasn't been performing well probably since it came out. I think it's just shy of 30 million, probably. Last time I checked, 27 million. I think I'm going to say by the end of its console life cycle, it probably have about 40 million consoles sold. That's if this exclusive bullshit doesn't negatively impact it, which I definitely think it will. I think a lot of people are going to try and shiv off and get rid of their Xbox consoles if they haven't already. It's just not looking great for Microsoft at all. It really isn't. Obviously, Microsoft have a Xbox showcase coming up, which a lot of people don't really have a lot of hope in it, which I can't really say I do either. I think the president of Xbox put out something that kind of caught a lot of people up. I'm going to try and find the tweet. I don't think I can. Either way, she put out a tweet which caused a lot of stir up. She used the emojis. There we go. There it is. Save the date for the Xbox Showcase, June the 9th at 10 a.m. PT, followed by Redacted Direct. Our teams and partners are working hard on our showcase, featuring games from our studios across Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and Xbox Game Studios. Hope you can join us. And they use the emojis, the heart emojis, blue and green. So, are they trying to sneakily admit they're going third party and they're really trying to, hide things in plain sight? You don't, just be honest. We're going to put shit on PlayStation. Now, what do I think is going to be announced here? Obviously, they're going to announce probably a new Call of Duty or something, we obviously know that it's Activision. This is probably how they're going to do it. However, I think we're probably going to see a few more games announced. Maybe we'll see Call of Duty on Game Pass being announced. I hope so anyway. That'd be cool. But we're probably going to start to see more games announced for the PlayStation. Whether that's more exclusives, maybe Starfield, heck. Who knows? But I think they're going to start to announce slowly. I don't think they're going to be announcing like games like fucking Halo and stuff like that for PlayStation, although maybe, who knows? That would be a pretty wild thing to do, but hey, never say never, I guess. Obviously, people started to clock in really what these tweets mean. Are they going to be exclusive games, or is it just a bunch of games coming to everything that will run best on Xbox? Obviously, everyone not realising the blue hat is likely because of Activision Blizzard. Probably not. I think it's more they're trying their very best to kind of slice in. I think it's kind of come to realise that Xbox's days, especially maybe as a console, or heck, especially as, well, exclusive things. I like Xbox. I've always been a kind of a fan of Xbox. Maybe it's nostalgia that's really got me into that. I've kind of enjoyed the backwards compatibility as well. Being able to play my older games and boot them up and play them in better quality. I did have a Series X. I downgraded to a Series S. I kind of primarily play on PS5 now, but I still enjoy quite a lot of games on my Series S, whether that's through Game Pass or I've got them on deals as well, 360 games that I've got on deals, and playing Fallout, the older Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas on backwards compatibility is really cool. I think that's one of the strong points Xbox has, is backwards compatibility. I wish they would push, more. I barely even think people who are going to buy an Xbox in a store probably don't know, hey, guess what? You want to play old games? You maybe got some old Xbox 360 games lying around. Well, guess what? This console can play it. They don't advertise that shit, though, because, well, I actually don't fucking know. They probably advertise it on their website, deep down in 50 pages, but they don't advertise it on the box, which is, something that, PlayStation doesn't do. Well, they do allow you to play a few PS3 games, but more you have to pay through the PlayStation Plus Premium, fucking whatever it is, which, and again, it's a very select few PlayStation 3 games. You don't have a variety like you do on Xbox. Obviously, the blue hat, surprised no one noticed that. Yeah, this one's going to be a spicy year. I feel like it's a lot of copium from the Xbox fans. While I do think that Xbox, I kind of wished it as a brand to grow. I think it's an admit, we got to admit as a whole community that Xbox is. If you're a PS3 fan, I did grow up with the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and I loved both of the consoles. I still play on the PS3 today, and I absolutely love that console to pieces. It's probably one of my favorite consoles. Heck, I like the Xbox 360 as well. I'd say Xbox 360 is probably where I made most of my memories when playing games. It was just seamless. The party chat was probably one of my favorite things. Something the PlayStation, didn't have. Yeah, the PlayStation had free online, which I actually really fucking enjoyed with that game. I really enjoyed booting up, my PlayStation and being like, oh shit, I don't actually have to pay for online. Remember them days with PlayStation? And then, well, back in 2013, they announced, they would pay for, you'd have to pay for PlayStation Plus. Now, PlayStation Plus was a thing. However, it was more a thing for like games and stuff. I think you'd get monthly games on the PS3. You didn't require it for online, so probably many people weren't subscribed to it. And obviously PlayStation, said, shit, we probably missed out on a shit ton of money we could have got. Look at Xbox, they probably cashed in a shit ton by charging people money for online, to go through the Xbox 360, because you needed to buy Xbox Live. I think there was normal Xbox Live and there was Xbox Live Gold. I think Xbox Live Gold as well got you like monthly games, which was pretty cool. I think Xbox Arcade as well, which is a really cool thing. So, looking back on it over the years, it really is a shame. Xbox, Microsoft, they had everything in the palm of their hands, and they've let Sony just say, we've beaten you twice. Theoretically speaking, they've beaten them every single console generation. Although I'm sorry to say it, but I don't think I could say which is better than not. With the Xbox 360 and the PS3 generation, I just think they both did incredibly fucking well that generation. I'd say they tied. Obviously, I think they ended up selling PlayStation towards the end of the life cycle, ended up selling a very 3 million, 2 million or 3 million more consoles than the 360. Although I'd still put that achievement down as pretty crazy for Xbox. Xbox had probably one of the craziest things with that console, and they sold well with it. It was a great console. They really hammered down with the exclusives. They fucking hammered down. They had Left 4 Dead. I think back then they had Call of Duty. I think they had exclusive rights to Call of Duty DLC, I think. I think so. I could be wrong. So they were ramping up. I think they got DLC earlier, which, again, was fucking crazy back then. For a lot of Call of Duty fans, they played on Xbox 360. Obviously, a lot played on PS3 as well. It wasn't a dead game, and I liked the PS3. The PS3 was great, although it did make a lot of fucking noises when using the disc. But other than that, it was a great console. And I remember playing Last of Us. It looked like shit, but I'm very surprised they were able to get it running on the hardware. I think the PS3, from what I found out, had less than a gigabyte of RAM, which, looking back on that, the fact that Last of Us was able to run on that very little piece of RAM, wow, that's very... Either way, looking back on it, do I think this is over? Do I think it's the time, the end is near for Xbox? And do I think they could ever recover from this? Fuck knows. But if I was Microsoft, or if I owned an Xbox right now, a Series X, I'd either maybe start to really see what your options are. Is it really worth me staying with Xbox if, this could really jeopardize the future of Xbox? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Xboxes sold on June the 9th because they've announced some of their exclusives coming to PlayStation. But it is what it is. I mean, can't say I didn't expect this from that rumor a few months ago. It kind of thinned out the line of the future of Xbox, and, we just have to sit on that and admit this is it.